going on, Jerome's? So, yes, no one told you life was going to be this way. The last couple weeks, Minnesota Vikings, after the 5-0 start, lost two sort of heartbreaking games, a near-run thing against the Lions, a game against the Rams. And we said at the time, losing 2 games in 5 days was going to suck for the Vikings because you would have 10 long-ass days to just sit and stew. Oh, 2016. Oh, 2003. Oh, here we go. Hopes down the blah, blah drain. The Vikings' number one defense in the NFL literally went away because Blake Cashman's toe. One toe. Not even like a Wizinator situation, man. Anyways, but 5-2 and playing the Colts on Sunday Night Football. And yeah, blah, blah, blah. 2022 comeback, historic and all that stuff. And it's great. But it doesn't really have an impact on the game on Sunday night. Although I will always ride or die with CJ Ham's face against Paris Campbell. That's a juxtaposition of looks of men who have had very different experiences in that second half. It happens, man. But, of course, TJ Hockenson being back is the main story. Will be 100% and good to go, and certainly adds a huge wrinkle to the Vikings' already explosive offense. Hopefully it brings a modicum of consistency, which would be kind of nice, as well as Kevin O'Connell. There's talk about simplifying the offense, going a little bit more up-tempo. Certainly would be fantastic. And defensively, it's just been so frustrating. Right, first 5 weeks of the season, the Vikings had the number one pass rush in the National Football League, and then last couple weeks, maybe not so much. But we after that ass, Joey. That's right, you came off the couch to be sacked 10 times by the Vikings on Sunday night. That's what happens, man. So, a big-time game for both teams, as the Colts are 4-4. Wanting some more. All their games were very near-run things as well. And the Colts, they bench Anthony Richardson. They're rolling with Jumpin' Joe Flaco and his 40-year-old ass because they think that he gives them the best chance to win. We'll see. We'll see. Bring that ish on here at 10. 10 keys for the Vikings to get it done on Sunday night and move to 6-2 on the season. Number one, clean up the sloppiness. And that's what's really plagued the Vikings over the last couple of games where turnovers are always a thing, too. Well, the Vikings have actually... It's weird. The Vikings pushed in the turnover battle against the Lions, and they won against the Rams, and they lost. Anomaly during the Kevin O'Connell regime. But especially offensively, pre-snap penalties, delay game, false starts, illegal formation, illegal shift. That's something that they have to clean up. And Jefferson hinted that they're going to simplify things on offense, which I think would be very smart to do, as well as on defense. Those defense drive-saving penalties, it's just... so deflated, man. And yes, the Murph defensive holding that basically extended a Rams drive that would have ended in a punt, but ended up in a touchdown. Sort of is what it is, and obviously the face mask. But you have to play better than the ref's ref, and the Vikings, last couple of games, frankly, beat themselves versus the opposition having a say. So the Vikings, before you win, you have to first not lose, which seems to be at odds with what we say about play to win and not play not to lose. Close enough. Anyways, next up, number 2. DeForest Buckner is a problem. So Buckner walking back into Shea, like Buckner is a bad dude, right? So number 7 overall pick back in the day with the Niners, got traded to the Colts. Frankly, I wouldn't mind if the Colts decided to move on from Buckner, just bring him on in. Because the Vikings need that interior pass rush, and he's going to be a problem. He returned from injury against the Texans last Sunday, had 3 pressures and a sack. He led the team in pressures last season, so he can get it done in the interior. And guess what? Guess where he is going to be lined up. Now, by the time you watch this, it may have already been announced that Dalton Risner is going to be starting a right guard, which would be kind of nice. But if not... or hell, even if it is, like Buckner's going to be up in the A-gaps with Bradbury. He's going to be on the shoulder of Ed Ingram or whoever starts at guard. So, yeah, he's going to be a problem. And that quick interior pass rush, as he's seen, can completely disrupt a play, can put you in a negative game script situation, and it's just not good. All right, so Buckner has to be taken care of. Next up, number 3, get Cam Robinson comfortable. So, it's going to be interesting, and it's really unfortunate with the injury to Christian Darrisaw, but Kwesi being uber aggressive, getting Cam Robinson, former Jaguar starting left tackle, former second-round pick out of Alabama, a longtime veteran, could do the damn thing. Plus, I mean, running the ball certainly would help things out, getting him acclimated and getting him up to speed and gelling with his offensive line, as well as keeping play action viable and wearing out that Colts front seven. The Colts are also 30th in the league in rushing yards allowed. Plus, Robinson being in the AFC South for a number of years, like he knows Odeyingo, he knows F you, quiddy pay me. Hasn't experienced Latu yet. But he's got a full dossier on what the Colts' tendencies are, and that certainly will help him acclimate early and often for the Vikings offense. Next up, number 4, simplified slinging Sammy Darnold. So Sam Darnold, a.k.a. America's quarterback. And if the Vikings are going to reduce the shifting and all that stuff and just line up and have their dudes play, I think that could certainly help out Sam Darnold. And Jefferson, get the rock down the outside. Addison, free 3, as well as Hockenson being back in the mix. I can't wait to see what this offense looks like with Hockenson back. Like everyone firing on all cylinders, and Darnold hasn't had that over-the-middle safety blanket, and I think that's really going to help him out. Also, the simplification, going up tempo, taking what's there versus hang on to the damn ball for too freaking long. You can't do that, especially with Darisaw out. Robinson's fine, except it'll take him a little bit of time as well, and just get the ball out quick. You can't go broke taking a profit and go from there. Next up, number 5. Hello, Hockenson. Yes, TJ Hockenson, a.k.a. the logo, is back, and you know that he's pissed off. Yeah, and you know that he's been champing at the bit to get back onto the field, but the team wanted to wait until he was 100%, and now he's going to be playing reportedly from Kevin O'Connell without restriction, so he's going to be back being tight end 1 and doing tight end 1 things, so I can't wait to just see what that looks like. Just a beautiful over-the-middle weapon. It's going to take pressure off of Jefferson on the outside. It's going to free things up deep as well. 8-7 is back. Let's go, baby. Number 6, Jefferson and Addison. So it feels like Jefferson, we bring the boom. Ay, Dios mío. So the wife is really big into TikTok, and she sees all the trends and stuff. She thinks that like the Big Justice and the Rizzler, like they're adorable. I don't know, man. I don't know. But, yeah, Jefferson, bright lights, Sunday Night Football, prime time yet again. I think Jefferson is prime for a monster game. And also, yes, Jordan Addison, free 3. He's getting open. Targets should be there. But also, there's going to be a lot of mouths to feed, right? And the Vikings are still going to want to run the ball. And with Hockenson back, Jefferson obviously getting his, it's going to be a big-time challenge to get everyone the ball. But, frankly, it's a good problem to have, right? So you have a team of competitors who want to be good, want to put up points, want their numbers, and not everyone can be happy, but we can try. That's right. And the Colts respect. I mean, the Colts secondary is pretty damn solid, especially in the cornerback room, because you got Jalen Jones, who's really stepped up nicely in his second season, former 7th-round pick. You got Sam Womack as well on the outside. Plus, I have all the respect in the world for Kenny Moore II. For my money, I think that him and Mike Hilton are my 2 favorite slot corners in the league. Like Mike Hilton does not give a F, and Kenny Moore is just a solid technician at the position. So, I mean, the Vikings are going up maybe against the best trio of cornerbacks the Jets. Yeah, but the Colts are really damn good as well. And frankly, hey, DeForest Buckner, Kenny Moore, if you just want to stay in the great state of Minnesota after Sunday night, I won't be mad. Kwesi, get it done, man. Defensively, like we said, we got to get back to good, and Flores has to get back to unleashing hell. But Jonathan Taylor Thomas, tool time, it's going to be a massive, massive hurdle, right? So, stupid Badger, all that stuff, he's one of the best running backs in the National Football League. Returned last Sunday against the Texans, put up 105 yards and a touchdown on 20 carries, 5.3 yards per tote, and respect. I mean, the Colts, they want to run the ball up front, and also with Flaco, and also Flaco being solid at play action, they want to do that. And up front, Quentin Nelson, future first ballot Hall of Famer, Ryan Kelly, I feel like has always been underrated. Roll Tide. Braden Smith, it looks to be back to good. The pride of Auburn. Now, what's interesting is that 2 years ago, the 3rd-round pick, Bernard Raymond, coming out of Central Michigan, I think, right? But he's been in concussion protocol, probably won't be back, so the starting left tackle is going to be out. And reportedly, it's going to be Matt Goncalves. Nailed it. This year's third-round pick in a left tackle, so certainly could be some yum time for Jonathan Grenard, as well as AVG, as well as Diamond Dallas Turner. Come on. I mean, Flores and Kevin O'Connell has said that he's going to be getting more snaps, so hopefully that knee is going to be good to go, and we'll just go from there. Yeah. But, yeah, Thomas shutting down the run and making Flaco beat you, as well as if the offense starts out hot and puts the Colts in a throwing game script, certainly would help neutralize 2-8. Number 8, some semblance of a pass rush, man. I mean, my God. 3 pressures and 0 sacks against the Rams that was playing 60% backups. Ridiculous, inexcusable, and it's not just, hey, blitz more people, although Flaco against the blitz, I mean, I kind of like it, but guys have to be winning their one-on-ones, and guys have to be, frankly, beating double teams and having the properly timed stunts, playing some games up front, and as well as, of course, Flores stacking the line of scrimmage and selecting the right guys to drop out. So just got to get after Flaco, right? And just, it's got to piss you off, too, because essentially the pass rush was inert throughout most of the game against the Lions. They got home against Goof a couple times late, but I mean, respect. I mean, the Lions have one of the best offensive lines in the game, but what happened against the Rams is embarrassing, right? And the Colts do have a solid offensive line, like we said, but if you got a rookie starting left tackle, certainly could be some yum time. Wouldn't mind that at all. Next. There you go. Next up, number 9. Josh Downs with the sickness. So Josh Downs, I think, is one of the more underrated receivers in the game. So the pride of UNC, 5'9", pound for pound, he's a tough-ass dude, too. Right? He's in the draft last year, I wouldn't have minded him. Of course, we got Addison. Let's get paid. But Josh Downs is scrappy. Like, he honestly reminds me of Steve Smith. Primarily works from the slot, so it's going to be a tough challenge for the Vikings, especially since Murph hasn't really had a couple of great games, right? And love what Murph did at the end of the Packers game, but frankly, he's been sort of picked on the last couple of games, and Josh Downs is going to bring it to him. Plus, when Flaco was intermittently throughout this season, when Richardson was dinged up, he and Josh Downs had some really good chemistry. So it's going to be really stressing that middle of the field, whether it's Murph, whether it's Metellus, whether it's whatever. You got to look out where Josh Downs is going to be. Lastly, number 10, get your mitts on some turnovers. So Flaco, I think that he does give the Colts the best chance to win, but also Flaco will serve up a meatball or two, and not even when he's under duress. I mean, sometimes if he's just hanging out in the pocket, he's be like, here you go, right? And yeah, he won Comeback Player of the Year last year versus DeMar, who died. Yeah, but I guess Flaco came back from being on the Jets, so that's something. But Flaco, I mean, people don't talk about this enough. Flaco played 5 regular season games and 1 playoff game. He threw 10 picks. That's a lot. That's kind of a lot, man. So I think that the crowd going to be loud and proud all day, waiting all day for Sunday night in those parking lots, having some good times, man, and keeping that energy loud and proud and just feeding off of that and feeding them and making sure that they have something to cheer for. It's going to be huge, right? So I think the Vikings get their hands on a couple of balls on Sunday night. Final score prediction. So I think that the offense finally shows up. I think that Kevin O'Connell dials back some of the ancillary stuff. I think the Vikings just get back to playing great ball up front. I think Hockenson has himself a bust-out game. We're talking about like a 9-catch, 130-yard, and a touchdown type game. Jefferson does his damn thing. Addison, frankly, I think the squeaky wheel gets the grease. I think that Addison comes up with 8-9 targets. They run the ball with a plum. Cam Robinson looks really damn good. Sling and Sam Darnold's protected, and that defense gets home, especially if and when the Vikings get up with a lead early and the Colts are in a negative game script and the guy be throw. I think that Flaco gives it back Jacko. All right, so I think the Vikings get 3 turnovers from the Colts. I think that they don't turn it over themselves, and they come out of Sunday night with a pretty damn impressive 33-20 win. The Colts score a late touchdown in Garbaggio time that makes this thing look a little bit prettier. But overall, I think that it's a get-right game, and it's one that the Vikings have to have. In terms of a Week 9 must-win game for a 5-2 team against a 4-4 team, this is a must-win. I mean, they have to have this one. Plus, it would give the Vikings and Kwesi the impetus to be further buyers at the NFL trade deadline. I know we're probably not getting sexy Dexy Lawrence, but Quinton Williams one time, I don't know. Guess we'll find out. But that's it. 10 keys for the Vikings get a win on Sunday night. What are your 10 keys? What's your final score predictions? Let us know in the comment section below. You guys know what to do. Skull production value.